Hello, thank you so much for joining with me. We are in A Course in Miracles, workbook for students. We are in part 2 of the workbook, section 10, What is the Second Coming? If you'll please read that section in its entirety today, or listen to my YouTube video, and after the meditation I will read commentary on What is the Last Judgment by Robert Perry. It's by Alan Watson. Lesson 320. My Father gives all power unto me. Let's go down and read footnote 134. Matthew 28:18. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Just as the Bible says that all power has been given unto Jesus in heaven and earth, so we are told here that all power has been given unto us in heaven and earth. The Son of God is limitless. There are no limits on his strength, his peace, his joy, or any attributes his Father gave in his creation. What he wills with his Creator and Redeemer must be done. His holy will can never be denied because his Father shines upon his mind and lays before it all the strength and love in earth and heaven. I am he to whom all this is given. I am he in whom the power of my Father's will abides. Your will can do all things in me, and then extend to all the world as well through me. There is no limit on your will, and so all power has been given to your Son. And now we will read the commentary. This is a practice suggestion of Lesson 320 by Robert Perry. Take a few moments and reflect on the following 3 questions, one at a time, using the questions beneath each one to guide your reflection. You may even want to write down your reflections. Can his will do all things in me? If not, doesn't that mean I am not his creation? If I am not his creation, where did I come from? Did I spring out of nowhere? Can his will reach through me to all the world? If not, doesn't that mean there are some places he cannot go? Does that make sense? Is there any limit on his will? Could God's will possibly be limited? Just one more limited will among many? Reflecting on these questions has prepared you to fully accept today's idea. My Father gives all power unto me. Now repeat that idea in a special way. Imagine that you are the risen Jesus speaking those words. As Alan points out in his commentary today, today's idea is an allusion to Jesus' statement in the final scene of Matthew. There, Jesus appears to his disciples to send them out to teach all nations, and declares to them, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. So, as you repeat today's idea, imagine you are the risen Christ. Feel the exaltation. Feel the power you possess to illumine the entire world. Commentary. Those of us who have not studied the Bible, or the Gospels in particular, may not recognize these words as a paraphrase of words spoken by Jesus shortly after the resurrection. All power is given unto me. I find it significant that the Course puts these words into our mouths. It is an indication of the equal plane on which the Course places us with Jesus. He was not anything we are not. All of us, along with him, are equal sons of God. He's just a little further along in time, or perhaps out of time, but with the same raw material. We are all the Son of God together as God created us. This lesson expands on the idea of the limitlessness of the Son of God that is mentioned in what is the Last Judgment. There God says, "You are still my holy Son, as limitless as your Creator." Here we are told we, as the Son of God, are limitless, without limit on any of our attributes, whether strength, peace, joy, or whatever. Limitless strength, limitless peace, limitless joy. To be honest, I can't even conceive of what joy without limits is like, and yet this lesson says it is mine. I know joy. I know a great deal of joy. Sometimes I am so joyful I can scarcely contain it. But joy with no limit at all? What must that be like? I think we all put mental limits on our strength, our peace, and our joy. And our happiness, for that matter. Haven't you ever had the feeling that it is somehow dangerous to get too happy? What a strange juxtaposition of words is that phrase, too happy. Watch out, we think. We don't want to become bliss ninnies. Yet the characteristic of the Son of God is limitless joy. How will we ever come to know that as our own while we place limits on our joy? Our egos act like governors on the inner engine of happiness and joy. We can get just so happy and then the power seems to cut off. We need to cut loose from the governor. Do I really believe that what I will with my Creator must be done? Do I believe that my holy will cannot be denied? There are those who catch a glimpse of this, and they are those who seem to accomplish so much in their lives, refusing to believe that what they envision cannot come to pass. Instead, they realize it must come to pass. Of course, we are not speaking here in earthly terms alone. This isn't the message of mastery of will, of the dominance of our environment by sheer force of will. This speaks of our holy will, joined with God's will, which is expressed in the extension of His being. Here we have unlimited power. In this, your will can do all things in me, and then extend to all the world as well as through me. Each of us can be an unlimited force for good and for God in this world if we transcend our beliefs and limitations. The power of love, for instance, is without limit, because there is nothing real to oppose it. Let me examine my thoughts today. My Father, for the beliefs and limits that hold back your power working in me and through me. Let me recognize them as false and open myself to your great power working through me to extend into all the world. And now I will lead us into meditation. Please close your eyes if able to and join me. My Father gives all power unto me. Your will can do all things in me and then extend to all the world as well through me. There is no limit on your will, and so all power has been given to your Son. My Father gives all power unto me. My Father gives all power unto me. Thank you so much for joining with me in today's meditation. And now we will read, What is the Last Judgment? This is the conclusion of Part 10. Paragraph 5, sentences 2 to 3. Therefore awaken and return to me. I am your Father, and you are my Son. The final judgment of God ends with this, completing the statement we covered yesterday. All of the things God is here quoted as saying of us are things we have difficulty accepting about ourselves. We need to awaken from the dream in which their opposite seems true and return to the Father. Are you trying to get my attention, Greta? And return to the Father who has never ceased loving us with an everlasting love. You are my Son. That is what we all long to hear, and all of us, like the prodigal son in the Bible, fear that we have lost the right to hear them. The prodigal was so filled with guilt that he went back to his father, hoping at best to be taken in and treated as the hired help. Instead, he was welcomed with a banquet. His father met him on the road. Do we fear to approach God? Do we hesitate to turn to Him? Do we feel ashamed of how we have lived and of what we have done with the gifts He has given us? He is not angry. He is not ashamed of us. He only knows that we are His children, His beloved, and He is forever calling to us to return to Him, out of the nightmare in which we have lost ourselves, waiting to welcome us once again into His loving arms. Thank you so much for joining with me in Lesson 320. My Father gives all power unto me. I love you. Have a beautiful day.